Yes, I think I am live. Right. Am I live? So a bit of a cock up with the phone there, but I think I'm there. I think I am there. Hi, Tony. Benji. We got subpolar greetings from Bill, Chris Brown, Rob Titheridge, and the Man Cave Workshop. Ooh. Can everybody see me? I don't even know if I'm in frame here. It's Clive, isn't it? Superbike rider, are you, mate? Yeah, 2 weeks. Apologies. Last week, my brother and his partner were here for the weekend. I can't see now. My glasses are all messy. Where's my cloth gone? My brother and his partner were here for the weekend, and we went in next door. My neighbour's a bit of a hi-fi buff, and we went in his place for the afternoon and messed about with his hi-fi, listened to a load of records of that, and time runs away, and the next thing you know, it's like nearly 6 o'clock. So I had to knock it on the head last week. Apologies for that. I know a lot of you were looking forward to it. Hi, Andrew Alsfer, how are you? I know a lot of you look forward to it, and I'll try better next time. That. Anyway, glad to see everybody on board as usual. All the usual faces. We've got a new person on board here, the Man Cave Workshop. I'm sure you know that's Sean by now. That did go by his normal name and moderated the channel for me. So he's now got his own YouTube channel up and running, which looks pretty good, Sean. So yeah, great stuff. The Man Cave Workshop. So if you're not subscribed, if you click on his name, you should be able to jump to his YouTube channel, I think. Now I can't see a blimmin' thing here because my glasses are all dirty. Once again, a massive rush today to get on board. I've got this record deck down here. What I was determined to do was to get this record deck working before I got on today. So luckily, touch wood, I've actually done that. Anyway, I can just about see with glasses, but I can't read without them. So how's everybody? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I'm sure you did. I did miss coming on, to be fair, because I do enjoy our Sunday get-together, even though sometimes it's a load of nonsense, usually caused by me. I haven't even got the beer sorted yet. Look, oh dear, oh dear. Right. Hi, Mark. How are you? You did miss me, Benji. That's good. Well, I've got a beer that's actually recommended by my brother. Actually, I've never tried it before. It's this one here. It's Darkness, the Prince of Ales. Anybody ever heard of that before? It's made in Exeter, down in Devon here. The Exeter Brewery Limited. I think it used to be Heavitree Brewery, didn't it? But it's won all sorts of awards. It's the Camera, which is a campaign for real ale. Champion Beer of Britain. Southwest Competition triple medalist. Look. It won gold, silver. It won gold in 2012-13. It won silver in 2013 and bronze in 2014. So it's got to be good stuff. It's a stout by the looks of it. He swears by it, so got to give it a go. Not that I'm alcohol dependent or anything. I just like a beer on a Sunday. I am trying to cut down, actually. Believe it or not, I'm doing this days off thing at the moment, whereby you nominate so many days a week alcohol free. Because those of you that know me know I play darts twice a week, and we usually go out for practice as well on a Tuesday, so that's 3 nights a week on the beer. And usually we like to have a drink with a meal, and before you know it, you're drinking every single night of the week. So there you go. Yeah. All right, Chris, how are you? You're always doing something, Chris, aren't you? Chris is All the Gear, No Idea. I'm sure you've all caught his channel as well. If you haven't, then you need to. He threw a little bit of a curveball this week and put a car video out there, which I've got halfway through it, Chris, but I'm not quite there with it yet. But I'm sure something's going to happen with the HT leads. Hi, SWL Turk, how are you? Thanks for joining. Yeah, that's actually quite nice, although I've still got a bit of taste of mouthwash from this morning. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So we've got plenty to look at today. Sean has threw me another curveball earlier when I asked anybody for any suggestions of what they'd like to see. He said, did I have any radios other than Hacker or Roberts? Well, not really. Surprisingly, I did find that quite a task, but I have found 2, 4, 6 other radios that we can look at, as well as the 2 that I was going to show you anyway. Just a quick word. Those of you that follow me on Facebook will know that a certain young man has paid up now. Young George. So all is good. I've taken off references to him in my posts. Obviously these videos going out live, I can't do nothing about that, but you know, I've taken all the references off, so that's it. That's all done and dusted as far as I'm concerned. I've got a belt now. Eventually I'll explain the story behind that in a minute. So that is done and dusted. Luckily he has paid up, he's refunded me the money, so enough said on that. Job done. So hope you don't do it to anybody in the future. Yeah, Bill Battery Maker, I did see your video on your great old 1920s, 26 or something like that, Bill? Old Volve radio. It looks like you put a hell of a lot of work into that, Bill, so it'd be interesting to see it in a bit more detail soon. So I'll be looking out for that one. Sean Man Cave Workshop. Obviously, he's got a fair few videos on. He's recently done a restoration of a Sovereign 3. Don't know where he got it. That's a dodgy dealer, I expect. He's recently done a restoration of Sovereign 3, so if any of you have got them, it's a popular radio. I've got a few here. It's well worth watching. Unfortunately, he did lose a bit of footage, but Sean, you may be able to get that back. You might be able to recover that with some recovery software, so fingers crossed. So without further ado, we need to get going. Let's get this record deck off of the table now. This morning I've done a bit of work on this. You know, last time I was here, let me just put you down on this so you don't want to be seeing me for too much longer. You'll remember last time that sorry, I can't get you in very well there because of the speakers which are in the way. I need some wall-mounted speakers really up out the way, ideally. So, yeah, so this morning I've had a go at this. If you can remember last time, we had some really bad hum. Now the connections weren't that brilliant on the new leads that I put in. You'll notice I put these multi-comp. I think they're, I can't remember the size now. Is it 26 by 0.8 crimp connectors? I put those on, and they were a bit sloppy. Well, they were tight on the top section and sloppy on the bottom. So in the week, I ordered some of these from RS, and these are the smaller size. They're 26mm again, but they're 0.05 instead of 0.8. Now, for whatever reason, well, I know the reason why this is a bit strange, because it's not a hybrid, a prototype. So the situation is the board underneath has got 0.5mm connectors on it, and the actual deck has got 0.8mm. So, you know, they've obviously made up cables for it, which was what all that botching was all about on the old cables here. You know, this like soldering and different connectors and all sorts of stuff going on with it. So they've used 2 different size connectors. So I got there in the end. put that on, still was getting quite a big hum out of the left speaker. And if you remember when I did the repairs on this last, I bridged the two negative, the two earth wires across underneath the turntable with a bit of copper wire. Well, what I did was I snipped that and unsoldered the center section of it, and lo and behold, the hum disappeared. So all that big panic about the hum was really that bridge that I put in on other people's suggestions. Well, obviously they took it out from this one because the deck is actually earthed. So I'm plugged into my Variac at the moment, an isolation transformer. So let's pop it on.
Richard Kiley and the Impossible Dream from Man of La Mancha. And
so we're just on tuner at the moment. It's really quiet. The only hum I can hear is my isolation transformer.
Well done. Well, I suppose we'd better hear from Daddy.
Hello, Dylan. I kind of...
Well, there you are. As you can hear, it's still working great. I've got no hum from the speakers at all now. Let's pop it on disc. I'm going to take the stylus cover off, unhook the arm, and I've got the record that we tried last week. I don't think Gary's in yet, but Gary very kindly gave me a record cleaner just before Christmas. And when I was up in the loft putting the Christmas decorations away, I went and got some wetting agent, which I used to use for photography, for developing, and I've managed to make up some cleaning fluids. So I've been messing about cleaning up records. I'm not going to play the first track, but I'm going to put it in auto and just let you see that it is going across onto the record. Hopefully it'll go across onto the record. There we go. I'm not going to play that track because there is a scratch on that one. I don't want to scratch, run the stylus through a big old scratch. Let's go on to another one. This is the Shadows change of address, and strangely enough, last week I only got a copyright hit on one of the shortwave stations that I was listening to. Some foreign shortwave station on one of the radios that we were looking at. That got picked up for a copyright hit. All the records I played never got a single hit at all, so there you go. The other good thing is the hum that was there on phono has all but gone now. Since I put those new leads in, I think that's got rid of a lot of the hum, so great news there. That's pretty boring, isn't it? It's a boring record, that. Could do with another clean, the record, by the sound of it. Hi Jess from Helland, how are you? No, there's no 8-track on this. It's just a an FM tuner and the record deck. It's got a separate button for tape, so you could put a 8-track and wire it into it. Yeah, I think it is good, Sean. I've got an app on the phone, and basically you put the phone on the deck and let it spin around, and it will actually tell you the speed of it. So I haven't been able to do that at the moment because the phone's obviously, I'm using it for my live stream, but yeah, it sounds fine speed wise. Difficult to hear from this because it's an instrumental. You never know, and it's not the original either, so you've got no reference really. But it does sound right speed. It's surprising how much treble the scratch filter takes out. Yeah, the scratch filter takes out the cymbals altogether. It certainly works, but it cuts off too much, I think. So there we are. It's working. If I just push the arm into the center, it should return on its own, hopefully. Oh, yes. There we go then.
In the raised beds, which on this sort of winter day are lighting things up.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew. Yeah, I think the neatness might be down to my military background, but don't know what the colour.
So that really is the record player done. Have I got any more to do to it? Not really. I cleaned the platter up, but it's absolutely filthy. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, it really is filthy. It's a hell of a lot better than it is, but I think I'm going to have to hit that with foam cleaner. I've washed it again this morning for the 3rd time. Used a toothbrush and some hand soap, but still looks pretty grubby. So I think the next plan of attack on that is some foam cleaner, and that'll be that. I can't get any cleaner than that. Right. Let's get the chat open again. Let's see what we're up to. Let's pop the stylus cover back on that. That's good. It's got a stylus cover because it's a good quality stylus. That Armour ought to do it, will it, Bill? Yes, I have actually. I have, Chris, actually, because I borrowed one from my neighbour last weekend. But when you say test record, basically I'd need to try and rig this thing up with test gear as well, Chris, I think, wouldn't I? I don't have a Woe and Flutter meter, Chris. I don't. I don't know if you subscribe to TechMoan, but he's got a Woe and Flutter meter that he demonstrates fairly often. But yeah, I have got a test record, but I've not tried it yet. Does anybody want me to get the test record, or do you want me to move on to some radios? Test record or radios then? That's the question. A Greek test record. No, it's not actually. The problem with the Greek stuff is for some reason a lot of it's got worldwide copyright block on it. So as soon as you play it, YouTube pick it up and block your whole video. It's fine. They can't do that when you're live, but when it gets processed for uploading, that's when they block them. So, yeah, say a friend of mine is next door neighbour. He's lent me a test record to check out my deck downstairs because his record deck sounds amazing compared to mine. So I don't know whether that's my record deck or just the fact that he spent thousands of quid on his, and it's amazing. So yes, yeah, I think I think really, Chris, you need to get it set up with some test equipment. I need to somehow get onto the speaker wires, and these are not normal phono outputs or jack plugs to the speakers. These are these 2-pin DINs. There are some outputs in the side that I might be able to hook onto. So I could. There's a 5-pin DIN in the side, Chris. So I could wire up a 5-pin DIN with some connectors on the end of it, and maybe do that. But you know, those old records are. I don't know whether it would be any good on this sort of stuff or not. I suppose they were designed for hi-fi gear. Hacker always claimed to be hi-fi, so it's a nice deck. It's a Garrard 35 SB. And what I did want to say is I'd like to give a great big thank you to Rob Titheridge, who's on here. Rob has been messaging me on Facebook trying to help me out with a belt for this one, and Rob must have sent me about 6 or 7 belts to try. He must have a hell of a stock of belts, Rob, but you know, thank you so much for sending all those over. It's a shame not even one of them fitted. There was one that was close-ish, but in the end, the eBay seller that I bought the belt with that we tried last time, he actually managed to get me the right belt in the end, and it's a hell of a difference because I can't already turn that by hand now. As you can see, it won't turn around on its own. So the belt is nice and tight, just the job. As before, I could just spin the deck; it wouldn't matter at all. So yeah, thanks again, Rob. Cheers. Thank you very much for all your help. Rob sent me some other bits as well. He sent me a 3-pin plug, and he sent me some little fuses. So really appreciate your help, Rob. Thanks very much for that. I'm sure you're still in here somewhere, lurking in the background. But, he's also been helping out Sean, I think, with some comments on his videos. So all well and good. So are we going to try the test record, or are we going to get this out of the way and get the radios up? I'm going to have a drink where you decide. I'll tell you what, the missus put the heating on before she went work. It's boiling in here now. Radios, yeah, I think so, don't you? I think so. Well, at least poor old chap that was waiting for this radio will now be able to come and collect it. Radio, record player even. Rolf from down in Brighton. You will now be able to pick it up. So Rolf, if you're watching, then she's all yours. Come and get her. So I'll set it up downstairs for a demo first. I'm going to just put the transit screws back up on this. All right, bouncing around. So you're going to have to bear with me while I get this off the desk a minute. Yeah, there is a test record bench you can get that's got a totally blank track on it to do your anti-skating control. So if you've got an anti-skate control on your deck, then oh, you're near Brighton, are you, Andy? Right, let's just unplug everything from the back. I think that's everything unplugged. Right, so bear with me a minute. I'm going to get this out of the way and get rid of these speakers a minute. Oh, let's go chuck it in the bedroom for the minute. If you hear a massive crash, you know what's happened. Oh, Eddie did as well, look. Right, that's the deck out of the way. Let's get you down on my desk. I definitely need to get myself set up with some test speakers, but saying that, I don't do hardly any hi-fi stuff really. This is just a one-off sort of I'll give it a go type thing. Right, records out of the way. And this last speaker. Hairy chair. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, we're there. We are there. Let's zoom you in a little bit. I now have some space on the desk. That's one thing, working on big stuff like that, my desk really isn't big enough for that at all. I am toying with the idea, if I can ever afford it, to get some get a storage unit, and I can get rid of a lot of stuff in here and give myself a bit more room on the bench, possibly even build myself a wooden bench, because this is only one of these plastic commercial fold-up tables here, so it's nothing fancy. Well, the first radio I want to have a look at is this one here. I had a message come through from my website from a chap called, I believe it was Keith, or Kaz as he's called, asking about a power supply to run one of these. Those of you that know these will know it's a Hacker Harrier. So he basically sent me a message saying that he wanted to know about a power supply for this. Now, I'm going to have to go and get another Harrier in a minute, because I'm not convinced that this power socket in the side is correct. I really don't know. I thought these ran on the VP408, but this one's got like a standard, quite a big jack pin in the side anyway for not a normal power cable. So yeah, I said, you know, really wants to try and get hold of a VP48, but to avoid the those horrible switch mode thing. The what do you call them? Wall warts, they call them, don't they? I can see a video coming soon on that, Chris. Higher, please. Higher? Oh, yeah, I understand, Bill. Yeah. Let's just put it a bit forward a bit. You've got to love my camera work live, haven't you? I was saying to Chris there that I'm going to get myself sorted this year at some stage. I'm going to get myself sorted with some proper camera gear to do the live streaming with. I've got an HD camcorder which I do my normal videos with, but for live stream I can only use the phone because that's the only thing that will connect directly to YouTube to allow me to live stream. You do need a fairly fancy video HD video recorder, or some of those bridge cameras, or a digital SLR will do it, which all are quite expensive. But at least then I'll be able to monitor everything, and the videos will also go out on a higher resolution. And yeah, you're right, Sean, I need a clip-on mic really. So that's planned for later this year. So yeah, my only question was, is that the right connector? Just, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. I know these were later hackers, but that to me don't look right. If anyone else can lay their hands on a Harrier quickly, let's say this is the hacker Harrier. I can't remember the model number now. I've got the manual. It's RP71, isn't it? RP71. So as I say, Keith very kindly drove to me and actually gave me this radio. I suggested a couple of power supplies. He said he couldn't be asked with it. It's something he got. I think it was that off of his out of his late father's loft. Or I think he said his late father was using it up until fairly recently. So he basically said if I want it, I can have it. So yeah. So you're saying that's not right, Sean? I didn't think it was. I really didn't think it was. Let me go and get my other one a minute, if I can lay my hands on it. Bear with me. Excuse me while I leave the building. Okay, don't panic, I'm back. Right, so this is my other hacker Harrier that we looked at the other week that I got from the NVCF. And if you have a look, it is a different power connector. Although it is still the same style. It's a thinner pin on it. You can see in there or not. Let's get the light down a bit better. Yeah, you can see the pin in there, look. Yes, it's the same writing, but definitely someone's swapped that for a new one by the looks of it. I don't like the look of that very much, to be honest, so I'm gonna probably will change that to an internal one. Again, they're easy enough to pick up. I've probably got one knocking about right here, I would think. Trying to think where my power jacks are. Yeah. So yeah, that's an internal one there. So that'll sit inside the radio, and you won't see that big ugly bit sticking out. There's a couple different types. Oh, it says chucking on the floor. That's another type. Depends what the screw centers are really as to which one you use, but they're still readily available, so that will get altered. I don't like the look of that at all, but it does make you wonder, you know, has somebody gone and been inside the thing, isn't it? Right, I've got to make sure I got the right one now. I'm getting them mixed up. Right, so this is the one. So yeah, it's really, really great of Keith to actually let me have that one for absolutely nothing. He just, I offered him something for it. He said no. He said if it's of use, then take it. So they are nice little radios. Once again, though, I haven't tried it, have I? I've not had a chance. I've been stuck for nearly 2 weeks now. Hi, Harvey. Canon D80, Chris. Yeah, nice kit. Canon. I'm a Nikon man myself, so if I get a DSLR with a video capability, it'll have to be Nikon because I've got all the lenses already. Definitely, Chris. I think we did discuss, myself and Sean were talking together about getting a store together. Just really to get rid of some bits and pieces, have a bit of a clear out. I definitely need that, as I'm sure my missus would tell you. So yeah, I think we were gonna have a meet up there. Swap junk. No, Chris, what are we talking about? Right, so let's get on with this Harrier then. Let's have a look inside. Again, I've not taken this off. Okay. Now this is the this is one of the ones with the TAD 100 chip in it. Now we've got some strange stuff going. I take it someone's just taped that up. Someone's taped the battery connections up because they've been using it on external power by the looks of it. It does look to be wired up all right, but it certainly is not the original one. But they do fail, those plugs, so I'm not surprised to see that someone's actually modified it. So we should be able to get it powered up from my bench supply. There's its center pin negative, it's saying, and it's going to be 9 volts. 9 volts. Let's get my current limit down. Let's make sure I'm center pin negative a minute. So all I'm going to do is stick the center one in the center and touch that, and it should come up with a positive. Yes, it is. The center pin is negative. So let's plug that in. Oh, it won't do it. See, they put some crazy size, God knows what size plug they put in that. But, I mean, this is quite a large hole on this one. But it ain't going to fit that. Okay, let's unwrap these. Of that 18 volts. Yeah. So while I'm just doing this, what's everybody else working on at the moment then? Come on. What are you all working on? Speaker looks like a Goodman's shawl, but it doesn't. There's no markings on it. It's a bit lumpy though, isn't it? I'll have to have a look, see what it compares like to my other one. You're gonna get, yeah. I'm not talking to the camera. I'm talking to the radio, Sean. That's what the issue is. Oh, hi Paul, how are you, mate? Bought for £1? Bloody hell. That's got to be bargain of the year, right? Where have you been? Boot sale or something, Paul? Don't have boot sales down here in the winter. It's too cold. Or up here or down here. Up on the north coast of Devon. No, you don't get a discount, Andrew. All you do is you get a voucher. I think it's £1 towards a tea or coffee. I think, yeah, sorry. You do get a discount for the table. Yeah, you're right. You do get a discount for your table if you're a BVWS member. British Vintage Wireless Society. I haven't sent my membership stuff back. I must do that before the end of the month. Okay, so this is all connected up with it. And it's 2 9-volts in parallel by the looks of it. I think if you do want to get a table, though, you need to get in fairly soon because they do sell out quite quick, I believe. Right, let's go with this then. Definitely going to need to get that socket changed out. You got Akai GX221. I'm not sure on that one, Harvey. A77 Benji, very nice. That's a Revox, isn't it? Tape to tape, or reel to reel even. I want a reel to reel player. I can't afford one. Yeah, it's a nice old radio, that. You got a Homebrew XSTR set. Oh, that's your 1921 bill, isn't it? Brilliant. Chris has got a whacking great 5.9 litre V8. Is that on your bench at the moment, Chris? Is it? Afternoon, Gary. I was just praising you earlier, mate, for that record cleaner you let me have. I managed to make up a mix for that. I did 80% water, or 80% distilled water, 20% alcohol, and I think it was 15 mils of wetting agent. Seems to work brilliantly. Yeah, they're nice. I've got to get one. I must drop in and see you again, Gary, at some stage. I've not been down your way at all for at least, well, since I last seen you. I've not even had a job in Barnstable at the moment. It's all down in Tiverton and Crediton, which is a pain. But yeah, if I get a job in Barnstable, Braunton or Ilfracombe, I'll drop in, Gary, next time I'm about. Right, we're going to stick some fire up the ass of this one. See if we can get it going. I need to get some beer underway, actually, because I'm out already. I did find the elusive Tiger beer opener when I was tidying up last week. Akai 4000D. Oh. Akai 4000D. I'd love to have one to have a play with, Gary, to be honest, because I've got quite a record collection coming on now, and you know, you get an album that maybe has got 2 tracks on it that you like and the rest not. So I'd like to really just put a high quality recording together. I know I can do it on cassette tape, but as I say, at the moment I haven't got the cash to get the Nakamichi service, so I haven't got a decent cassette recorder to record the records onto. But reel to reel is supposed to be a big step up from cassette, so that's what I was after, really looking for quality. Hey, Get on, Chris. You got your Sams. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing that one, Chris. Yeah. Beatles, yeah, I've got some Beatles stuff. I haven't got any Beatles records actually, Sean. I've got Beatles on CD, and I think I've got some Beatles on cassette tape, but not any Beatles records, believe it or not. That's actually strange. Okay, so let's without further ado, let's wind this back this end of the scale. Let's fire up on wear 88. That should be radio 2. Those of you, oh, call that. Ooh, that's Ariel's going to need a bit of love. Let's give that a little squirt a minute. See if I can find my blue roll, which I probably can't. Blue roll always eludes me. Oh, there it is. That area won't been. Always use WD-40 on aerials because it has got a good bit of lubrication in it. It does penetrate quite well, so I'll leave that to soak in for a bit. There's a chap, Chris. There's a chap that's got a few of those. I'll get a link to his channel, mate. He's called Pete C. He's Cortina City, Chris. If you type in Cortina City into YouTube, I think his username is Pete C. And he's done a couple of videos back in December where he managed to get hold of some old Krypton tuners. Very interesting, actually. No, get off of you. GT85 is quite good stuff. Yeah, it's Pete C. If anyone can get the link for that a minute, pop it in there for Chris. Really interesting videos, Chris. I'm into classic cars as well. And Pete C. He does Cortina Mark III restorations, and he does amazing work. He's working on a 2-door at the moment. Okay, shall we get some fire up this thing and see if it works then? Here we go. Ready? Let's get a bit of an aerial going because I don't want to pull that one up yet till the WD's had a chance to settle into it. That's good going. That is good going. Rayovac, I did have one of these here in something, Paul, actually. Right, here we go then. Okay, the current limit's kicked in.
We taught the world new things.
We've got a dirty volume pot.
Yours truly there, and as if we never said goodbye, from Sunset Boulevard, sung by the
Drawing about 40-50 milliamps.
film legend Norma Desmond, as she's
It's got some volume there.
on the studio lot for the first time in years. It's a great example of the very best of Andrew Lloyd Webber, with its repetitive, hummable melody and Christopher Hampton and Don Black's haunting lyrics, which in this case so effectively capture.
Yeah, you're right there, and he's on a car he calls Project Bramble at the moment because it was like overgrown and brambles growing all through it. So this is sounding really good.
had a phone call to say your mum had passed away off one of her friends. I couldn't believe it. He died.
In the center where the sun shines in. Smiles as sweet as honey. Her teeth is clean. And let you know, it's Matt and Victoria on Heart Breakfast tomorrow morning. Set your alarm nice and early and find out who you need to hear to bag the cash. And then get
Heart coming through a bit better up here now. They must have upped their output power on their transmitter because it was pretty rubbish.
One of us, it's huge. Heart's
booming
30k
in,
triple play returns in the morning from 10. And I've got Shakira and Wyclef up next. After this one, says Rita Ora, Let You Love Me.
Should've stayed with you last night instead of going out to find trouble. That's just trouble. I think I run.
I do remember duck oil, Chris. God bloody hell! I remember duck oil. We used to use the stuff because my background is a gas engineer. We used to rebuild boilers back in the day, the cast iron boilers, and we used to use a product called Plus Gas. And it used to come in like a tin can. It was much better than WD-40. It penetrated a lot better. But yeah, Plus Gas it was called. That was good stuff. But I do remember duck oil, yeah. Okay, well, the dial alignment's a little bit off on the top end of the scale. Classic FM should be back here on 100. We've got another station on there. I don't know if that's something we can quickly... Oh, yes, it is. We can quickly fix that on this one. I think it's that one there. So let's just get a little screwdriver a minute. And we'll just pop that back on frequency, possibly. Let's use one of these. It's a little bit off frequency on the top end, that's all. Need one of these little trimmers. These little Bourne's trimmers are pretty good for this. For the capacity. I don't think I can get into it without popping it out the chassis. Let's see if this little screwdriver will fit in there. No, I think it's TC3 in these. So yeah, I'll need to just pop the chassis out to bring that back on frequency. But to be honest, it does sound really good. You've got limited tone because it's got a single tone. It's not got bass and treble, so it's sort of in between, really. Scratchiness appears to have gone out the volume control now.
Wasn't supposed to happen?
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go
Shakira! Bit of umpire.
Bugle, Silver Band, and one. I thought I heard the first mate say, "Pay me my money down. Tomorrow is our sailing day. Pay me my money down. Pay me my money down. Pay your dolly jam.
He's dead and so unreal.
Your tears and my tears. Well, I know now, being a mother, how difficult it is to, you know, this conflict where you're watching your children growing.
Well, there you are. Hacker Harrier that is actually working very well. I think this set is from around, it must be around the 70s. I'm not sure if anyone's got an exact idea. I've got the manual here for it. So yeah, the manual's showing 1972, look. And there is a procedure in here for a line in the front end. So pretty much you've got a coil and a capacitor to adjust. You've got a slug in a coil and a capacitor to pull it in. The problem is if you don't do both of the adjustments, you tend to pull. You can pull it like way off the planet, but if you just do the top end, you'll find that you'll pull the bottom end the wrong way as well. So you've got to do both to just spread the band out a bit better. But yeah, all the instructions are there. I'm not going to do it today because I've got plenty of other stuff to look at here for you. Unfortunately, I need to pop it out the chassis. So we need to get jobs that I need to do on this one. Then I need to get rid of that horrible additional power jack and put a proper one in of the right size that we can plug into. Probably do need to give the switches a clean. It is drawing a fair bit of current, but on these radios, the amplifier is actually on the main board. This is obviously one of the later models. I don't know whether, I know Sean commented on the speaker on this. So let's have a quick look at what the speaker is on my other one. Same speaker, Sean. It's grey speaker. I know Goodman's used to have grey speakers, but whether it is a Goodman's, I don't know. If yours is different, then let us know. So we've got Philips axial capacitors in it. We've got normal germanium transistors in it throughout. Oh no, we've got silicone in there as well. So we've got silicone transistors in the FM front end. Looks like we've got a silicone transistor in as the oscillator for AM. And then we've got germanium output stage, germanium driver, and a germanium output stage. And we've got the TAD 100 chip, which is the same one as Roberts used to use in their RIC-1, the very first Roberts IC powered radio. So you haven't got lots of trimmer pots or anything on this one because most of it's done on the TAD 100 chip. So, but nice little radio, and thanks again to Keith for letting me have that. And that one will get a proper restoration. I'm going to try and put a bit more on my website this year because I haven't really used my website much since I put it out there. Well, my son did it for me actually. Let's get you back out on my ugly mug for a minute. No, not too much. Christ, don't frighten the neighbours. Yeah, so my lad put my website online. I haven't done a lot to the website, but I have started putting some more radios on it. So you'll see from time to time, if you do look at my website, that bits and pieces will start dropping in there. So WD is fish oil. Just catching up quickly with the chat here. Plus Gas is lovely stuff, Chris. It used to work so much better. Swafiga is great for your hands, and the grittier one really does. I remember as an apprentice. Now this is iSignal Hunter. How are you? As a gas apprentice, one of the joys of being an apprentice was that if you ever had a birthday, you had to have something done to you. And I suppose these days you'd call it bullying, but back then it was, I suppose, a bit of banter. But if you had a birthday and they found out it was your birthday, you used to get stuck. We had a massive, great big Belfast sink. So you used to get your trousers pulled down and you used to get a load of Swafiga dumped on you and a load of iron filings. Schoolboy antics, I suppose. But yeah, That's my memories of Swarfiga for you, Chris. Look. Hopefully you won't get copyright on that, Sean, but you never know. Hi Theo, how are you? A southern thing. Oh dear, I used to remember the old green. Come on, Chris. I think a lot of us will have been apprentices at some stage, and you always. I mean, I can remember going to the stores and asking for a bubble for the spirit level. Another guy got asked to go and get a skirting board ladder. There's all sorts of those old things. You don't hear of it these days, do you? But it used to be a bit of banter. No one really ever minded it that much. Left-handed spanner, yeah. A long wait. Right-handed screwdriver. Yeah. Yeah, keep them coming. Oh dear. I'm trying to think of some of the others. There's a bubble for a spirit level, I can remember that. Skirting board ladder. In fact, I got caught years and years ago when I was a scout. They thought it was really funny. What they've done is they said, after you've taken the tent down, you need to go in with some grass greener after, so as it helps the grass get greener again. And what they did is they filled up a blimmin' big old baked bean tin with some green poster paint and water, and you had this little tiny brush in it. And I can remember doing this and thinking, what a plonker. So you had this little thing, you should like flick this stuff all over the like spot to make the grass get greener again. What an idiot. But you know. A tin of tartan paint, yeah, bucket of steam. Oh dear, the joys of being an apprentice, isn't it? But yeah, I'm sure Sean's got some from scout camp. Yeah. Oh, women on the shop floor is terrifying. Yeah. To be honest, Chris, you know, as a gas engineer, we used to have to do a lot of work in kitchens and that, and commercial kitchens, and back in the sort of like 80s and that, they were run by women, and you go into this kitchen and you're like a young lad in your 20s, and you've got about 20 women that all stop what they're doing and stop and stare at you, and you've got to go and try and fix their range cooker or whatever. So it was always fun back in the day. Crossroads, I remember Crossroads. Oh, Benji. Not Benji. Benny, wasn't it? Miss Diane. Striped paint. Reminiscing. We're getting totally off the subject to radios again, aren't we? But anyway. Yeah, you're right, Sean. Best chefs are male, but as I say, I used to do a lot of work in school kitchens, that sort of thing. We used to have contracts with the local councils, that sort of stuff. So I used to get a lot of school kitchens and nursing home kitchens, that sort of thing. So, right, who wants to see another radio then? Always trying to cop a feel. Yeah, it was terrible because when you're trying to get into the oven at the bottom to get the little what do you call it? Oh, that's basically a thermoelectric valve. You had a little sensor in there, and we used to have to get in there and clean out this little sensor, or pull the oven burner out and clean it. So you're bent into the oven, and you know, the rest is history, innit? Anyway, this next radio that I'm going to show you is quite special to me, and I think it is a radio that you need to look out for. If you're a collector of radios, or you just want a radio that sounds really good, then this might be the radio for you. Anybody know what that is then? actually have... Ah, God, Paul's got it straight away. Oh, I was hoping that would last 10 minutes, Paul. So Paul hit it in one. This is a Roberts R700. And then just let me go and get you its little brother a minute. So let me get you its little brother. Not really sure, no. It's I would say put that in front of it. You can see the difference in size there. This is an R600, this is an R700. And if you want an R707 for comparison, let's grab my test set a minute. That's the R707. See if I can get you, just about get that in shot for you. You want a 900 as well? I have got a 900, Paul, but different era, mate, different era. So the R600 and 700 were made pretty much at the same time. You can see the dials on them are very similar. The difference being that the R700 had bass and treble controls on it. The R600 didn't have any apart from a tone button. I've restored this one. This one has been restored by me. You wouldn't think it now because it's a bit dusty, but this is at the works, this radio. Yeah, it's a size comparison really I'm showing you, because obviously the R707 is bigger. If you look at the R600 and the R700, the R700 is not as big as the 707. And I think there's not that many years between them. There was a couple different versions of the R700 as well. The earlier ones had a white strip on the bottom. I have got one of those here somewhere, but I can't lay my hands on it for the minute because it's in one of the storage boxes in the other room. Signal Hunter, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is everybody loves the R600. It's a pain in the ass to work on because it's got a Mallard module in it. But the R700 hasn't got that Mallard module. It's got an older style module, which I did have one here to hand actually. Have we got one somewhere? I don't know if it's up in there or not. It's got a strange module which has got a silver can. Let me just have a quick look. Excuse me while I get my guts in the web camera. Let's see if I've got one of those in here or not. Yes, I have. It's got one of those in it. So it's got one of these type of modules in it. Now, this one, I think Sean gave me this one actually. See if I can get it out. I expect actually Sean may have already changed the transistors in this one, but that's got that type of module in it. Whereas the Roberts R600 has got that type of module in it. For those module freaks out there that love them, because we hate them. To be fair, afternoon, Alan W. How are you? This is one of the earlier R707s with the Roberts badge in the center. The later ones had the rectangular badge on the left-hand side, and that's got another module in it again. 1164. Actually, that's the wrong module on that one. 1164. Okay, that's the right module. So we've actually got a family of modules, look. How about that then? You can't really see them, can you? Because I've not staggered them up enough. There you are. So that's the 3 modules. So this has got a LP1171 module in it. This one, I'm not sure what they call this module, but it's a hell of a lot easier to get out than these are. It's only 4 pins on these, which, you know, you've got about 11 pins on the other ones. This is LP1164 on the R707. It's an LP1171 on the R600. But this one, I've done the module on the R700, and that's the subject of today's video anyway, was the R700, because they're not as popular, not as popular, not as common, it doesn't seem, as the R600s. They are about, but people seem to like pass them by for some reason. I don't know why. Let's put them out of the way. Ooh. Now this one, I do need to do a little job on this one today. I need to get the volume pot done because it's got scratchy. I did originally restore this one, and it did get a proper full service. I put it was back before I used the Danish oil, so the sides of this have got beeswax polish on them. It's got a little bit dull now, but the reason this particular radio means a lot to me is this is the one that Mum used to use when she used to come and stay. This used to be her bedside radio, and she preferred this to all the hackers, everything, because I tried to get her to have a Hacker Hunter, but she didn't like it, because the Hacker Hunter used to pick up her phone. So she used to get this like noise, you know, when a mobile phone cycles and it just keeps checking, I suppose, 3G. It just keeps kicking in every so often. It makes that funny whirring noise. Well, the Hacker Hunter and the other hackers that I gave her, in fact, I think I tried a Roberts R600. No, yes, I did. And that was doing the same. But the only one that wouldn't cause the issue was the R700. So Mum used to have this one tuned to classic FM. She used to nip on up to bed and pop this on the bedside table, and just really low, and just used to go to sleep with the radio on. So this one's got a lot of sentimental value to me. I did restore it prior to Mum really coming to stay with us, but sadly Mum's passed now, so it does mean quite a lot to me, this radio. It does work, obviously it works perfectly, but I've got a scratchy volume control on it. You can see from the top, all the top's been polished, all these knobs have been off and been polished. It's pretty immaculate, to be honest. It's a lovely radio. I did restore one prior to this one, which had the white strip on it, but I sold that one on eBay and wished I hadn't after I sold it. I have got another white face one here somewhere, but I can't, as I say, lay my hands on it right at this minute. I don't think, unless that's one there, is it? You never know. No, it's an R600. So let's pop it on FM to get the aerial up. They've got a slightly different aerial, these as well. They've got this like screw top on the aerial, which is a bit different. So it's a 3-band radio, FM, medium wave, long wave. FM does go right up to 108, but we have got separate bass and treble controls on these.
thick of cover. I wasn't even going out tonight.
It's not got the same sound quality as the R707. Obviously, there's a lot more complex electronics in the R707 compared to the R700. And this is the earlier generation. In fact, I think this one might have even come before the R600. I don't know. Someone will have to look that up for me.
Minor number 2. Stephen Huff was on the keyboards, making those tricky passages sound totally effortless. Right.
I don't know, no, you sure if you. Oh no, hold up. Put my stick at the door. Come on, who you?
Nice improving look last night. I despise my amiability. It's rather hard fare to live like a saint and to pass for a sinner. I should like to lead the kind of life, if only for 6 months, that others lead their mothers.
There are worse things we'd love to do.
I have to be my brother as well as myself. When we were both young together, I
Scratchy.
had the biggest pudding. I stayed indoors to be kissed by the ladies while Stephen was outside.
To be honest, it's actually, because it hasn't been used for some time. Sadly, Mum passed away over a year ago now, so it hasn't been used since then.
Swallow. In your steadfast love, you get people whom you will be.
Songs in the taper. The gripping story.
Sounds like we've got a little bit of dust on the tuning cap as well, by the looks of it. So let's have a quick look, show you in the back of it. Did that wake everyone up? Strictly? What? Well, my missus is actually, I was on a bit later today because my missus has had to go into work this evening, so she's got a stock take thing in work, so she had to leave at 1:30. That's why I came on at 2 today rather than 1. So it looks like what I've done on this one is I've just gone through and changed the caps that are necessary. I've got what have I changed? I've changed most of them actually. I left 3 or 4 capacitors in there, but I have had this module out, and there's a hell of a lot of AF117s in this one. So we've actually got an FM module as well. Let's get you in a little bit closer so you can see this, because I'm sure you all love to see a little bit of modulism. Okay. Right. So we've got our FM tuner here. Look, you've got, I don't know if you can see this, but you've got 1, 2, 3 AF117s. And looking at those, I've actually heated those. So there's solder on the top of those. So what I've done is I've flowed some solder on them and burnt the tin whiskers off using a soldering iron. This one here, I've had to change. That's got an AF127 in it. And I've had this module out and changed the AF117s in the module. So there's a lot of AF117s in these radios. So buyer beware. If you buy one, you're going to need to do some work on it. AF117 City in there. But if you can get one and get it working, then they are really nice little radios. Certainly the sound is better than the R600, but not quite as nice as the R707. The R707 is an amazing radio. Certainly is what would be considered as a hacker beater by some people. Some people are frowning on that. Battery bar missing. Yeah, I do have a nice collection of battery bars, Paul. So in fact, I can probably put my hand on one. No, I've got loads of battery bars knocking about. I keep forgetting to put them back in. But yeah, you're quite right. There's a battery bar that sits in there. In fact, I think, Paul, this is one of the radios that with the modern batteries, the battery bar won't quite go back in. So if you use older style batteries, the battery bar will go in, but the modern ones, they won't. Yeah, I zap mine. I mean, my power supply will go up to 64 volts. I tend to zap mine about anywhere between 50 and 60 volts. Some good fun. Modulism. Modulism. Yeah, so my missus is out for the evening, so yeah, you've got to be careful heating them. I don't like heating them, to be fair. If you're working on a radio and you've got the chassis out, you might as well take the things out and do it properly. I must have just done that for a bit of quickness. I suspect what I've done on that, to be honest, and I can't remember, it was so long ago. I suspect what I've done is I've heated them to try and get them working. It's not been successful, and I've probably ended up taking them out. Because I have had this whole radio apart. It's immaculately clean inside. You can see where I put new capacitors in. In fact, I've got a new capacitor there that's gone bad. Look at that. Can you believe that? I restored this probably about 4 years ago, and I've got a capacitor gone bad already. Let me zoom you in for the nastiness of the bad cap. Can you see it? Ooh. Sorry, it's a bit fuzzy because I've zoomed in on it's got like optical zoom, but that, can you see that? A bit of light on it. That cap is swollen up. That has gone. Would you believe that? What a sod. That was a new capacitor, look. Yep, bulgy McBulge face. Can you believe that? Wow. That has surprised me. That is a brand new capacitor, that is going to come out of there. 330 microfarads. Looks like 16 volts. It's typical, isn't it? This was done before I had any decent capacitors, to be fair. I've got looks like a Panasonic that I put in there. The rest of them are just like fairly cheap capacitors, and that being one of them. So this is a lesson for all of us, really. Do not use cheap rubbish capacitors because they will fail. Look at that. And literally, I did this one, as I say, about 4 years ago, just before I moved here. Or did I do it when I moved here? It wasn't far off, to be honest. Lesson learned. Cheap capacitors, rubbish results. So I'm going to have to put another cap in that one. I can't believe that. that wire was touching the speaker as well. That might be why the bass response isn't brilliant on this radio. See me back out again now, because you don't want to see the Roberts badge up that close, really. It's probably why the tone controls weren't that brilliant. You want me to take it apart now? Poundland fly swatters. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, Andrew, what voltage they actually use, but it's. I'm not sure if it's a kilovolt, but it's a hell of a lot of voltage they produce. So that would probably blow the hell out of the transistor. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Now these are fairly similar to the R707s. You've got to take the two screws out underneath. And I think you've got yeah, you've on this side you've got a long screw that goes right the way up through. It's like a threaded bar. And this side, have you got a threaded bar on this side as well? It might be in behind the aerial. I can't see it offhand. But yeah, that capacitor has got to go. It looks like I've put some really nice capacitors in. I've got the Vishays in there, that. But for some reason I put a crap 330 microfarad capacitor in there. What a load of rubbish. And I've actually still got one of the old Hunts capacitors in there as well, I think. Elka modes. If anybody's seen a picture of these, they've got these black Elka modes in them. Is it Elka modes or is it Hunts? I can't really see it. You can just about see it hidden in behind this ferrite rod. So yeah, I did restore this for myself. It wasn't for sale, so I've just got it up and running. It didn't work when I got it. It works great now. I wonder if I've had those transistors out or not. I know I've had the module out of it. Well, there you are. A radio that's well worth picking up, but it's unlikely you'll get one that's working. Yeah, you're right, Paul. I think what I did at the time is I just got this radio up and running. I did enough on it electronically to get it working. I can't remember. It's so long ago now. I think it was more than 4 years ago. I think I actually did this one. I did 2 radios, and I did the one with the white top on it to sell, and I kept this one for myself. So I finished the white strip one. And I then went ahead and took the module and that out of this one and did it. But that was when I first started properly restoring stuff, really. So going on what I know now, I would have done a lot more to it than that. But there you are. So a bit of work involved. I'm not going to take it apart now. It's easy enough to get apart, but rather than me changing capacitors, which would bore you stupid, I thought I'd get some other radios up here and have a look at. Now, this is Sean's fault, the rest of this. This is Sean's fault, the rest of this. So you can blame Sean for the next segment. Sean wanted to see some non-hacker Roberts radios. So I went in my bit where I keep all my bits and pieces, and I've dug out a few. Now, one of these Sean has actually got in at the moment. And this one, I actually have restored this one. Well, so I say. You never know. This one has been restored by me. Anybody recognise that? I love these little radios. I don't know what it is about them, but I love them. Yeah, it is your fault. Yeah, I know, Theo. He does. He's got his own word for those. Yeah, you're right, Sean. Ekco Vanity. I suppose that they had them as ladies' radios back in the day. It was almost like a handbag. I know Sean has got one of these. In this one, I think this one's got paint splatter on it, but I think it's my paint splatter. Don't tell anyone. This has got paint splatter from me and my missus decorating our hallway, and this was our hallway radio. I don't know why it's got relegated back to my room, really, back to storage. But yeah, we've definitely got some Magnolia emotion on this one. So this is an Ekco Vanity. I can't remember the part number of it now, but you can see it is in really good nick. These bits on top are actually solid brass. So if you take the time to strip it right down and take these out, these polish up lovely. I mean, you can see I've polished these, but it's starting to tarnish again now. The center is brass plated. If you rub too hard like I have, you'll go through the brass. It might just be lacquer actually, and I've polished through the lacquer, but I think I've polished through the brass on the centerpiece. But I love these radios. I know Sean has got a blue one, which I'm sure will please him because he hates red radios for some reason. I quite like them because they just sort of bling a bit more. And gold and red is a cracking match, really. It does go really well. So I've restored this one, so it should work, shouldn't it, really? There you go. PT738. It's a lovely radio. I think they're great little radios. So I need to get another beer sorted out. Where's my beers? Okay. Let's get. I'm sure Simon Spires is actually sponsored by these people, Old Speckled Hen, because he always seems to have an Old Speckled Hen on his bench. I don't know where he is today. He must be out chasing ferrets or something. I don't know what he's up to today. But yeah, a bit of the Old Speckled Hen. Can't be a bit of a Speckled Hen. Hi Darren, all right? I didn't see you pop in there. Yeah, the red ones do crop up from time to time, and if you spend the time taking it, stripping it right down to the bare basics and giving it a clean, they come up really, really blinging. Great little present for the missus. Tanglefoot. I don't want a bit of Tanglefoot, Paul. Great stuff. Don't mention chicken. Owl watching, he could well be. That's a nice point, Speckled, and I do like that. So yeah, this is a long wave, medium wave radio. I'll get you up a little bit closer so you can have a look. As I say, these are solid and they polish up really nice. In fact, I think the grill is brass. The front button's brass. It's like a gold dial on it. The Ekco motif, that's solid metal. That's not plastic. Solid metal, that is. Even the screws on the back, nice proper bracelet. So yeah, I did this up for my missus, and it was in a hallway for quite some time. And it's only literally the past few months it's come back up to me. She does that. She'll go and she'll have a couple of days off work, and everything gets changed. All the cupboards get changed around, so I don't know where anything is. My radios get moved around, so I can't find them. It's like a little challenge for me. Oh dear, she got 2 weeks off soon. God, dear, oh dear. What's going to happen? 2 weeks off? I won't even know where the door is, I don't expect. Yeah, it is. You're right, Paul. It is what they call like a handbag style radio, but I just really love them. They're really smart. We've even got some what's the stuff that comes off those lilies? Because this used to go up. We always used to have lilies on the hall table as well. So this was our hallway radio. But definitely worth picking one up. And they did do a bigger version as well. I don't know, has anybody got the bigger version? There is a bigger version. I can't remember what it's called now, but I have my eye out for one. Opium come from lilies. I think it's poppies, isn't it? I think it's poppies. You got it wrong there. I think it's poppies, Sean. But not that I know about drugs at all. I don't. Not my thing at all, drugs. I'd quite happily stick to the beer. Doctor says I've even got to stop that, but I'm not going to stop that, am I? I'm not going to stop that. So anyway, we need to know if this radio still works, don't we? Still got batteries in it. On the side, you've got a long wave, medium wave switch, volume on and off. It's probably not going to like the workshop light. We'll see.
Tails, which to me I think are the most fascinating things growing. The fact that they grow in ivy drains, and I was trying to explain to my wife that they were around before Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's working nice.
And a lot of the herbivores used to eat, okay, they were slightly bigger in those days, the horsetails, but they used to eat things. And you then move on to, that's lady smock, isn't it?
That's right, that's correct, yes. Cuckoo.
And you get cuckoo flower, and you see them growing down on the banks by the A38, and the orange.
Oh, good tune. River deep, mountain high. I'll get the back off in a minute. I think you'll find this is a PP7. I think you'll find it's a PP7 mic.
Is this when team spirit counts? Because I've talked something when. There's no one coming because the ball off as they're coming. You see Hawk, you see Punch and try to get close and hold it.
So once again, we've got nothing much on medium wave. Everything on medium wave here is down this end of the band.
To a book, or could you? I literally am holding a diary where you have, to put it really bluntly, doodled in perfect pictures.
I have no idea about publishing. I've been approached by a couple of publishers
my iPad's
who were
interfering with it as
interested in it
well.
when I first began, and one of them says we'd love to publish it as is.
Yeah.
And so whatever that means, it can be done. But but when that happened, I think I was 12.
I want the shape again.
So we're on long wave now.
Mama's not really
Turn
shocked.
that light
She's
off a
only
minute.
afraid that Mr. Hudson might have injured my hair in that per consequenza I should self-allow.
Archers.
Child, you deserve that I should make a fright of you. Now, stay still while I repin you.
Hudson's a sculptor, but if I were a painter...
Thank heaven you're not. I'm having quite enough of this minute inspection. Besides, I could never trust you, Mr. Mallet. I think it's because your face is so broad.
Some French stations, but...
At court. He was very attentive, seriously so. He was really very far gone. as blonde as Stantorello, pure fleece. So I said to him frankly, "Many thanks, Herr Graf. Your uniform is magnificent, but your face is too fat."
Yes.
There you
my
are.
face, too, seems to have assumed an unpardonable latitude.
Yeah, this
Mama,
iPad is
they
interfering
know
with
very
this.
well that we are looking for a husband and that none but tremendous swells need apply. Surely before these gentlemen, Mama, I may speak freely. They are disinterested. Mr. Mallet won't do because, although he's rich, he's not rich enough, and he has a broad, fat face. Unless you have millions, you know, you have no chance. Mr. Hudson, of course, is nowhere. He has nothing but his genius and his bourgeois.
Yeah, lilies aren't good to dogs either, Chris, actually. So yeah, there you go. Let's put the light back on. Let's get the back off for those that want to see inside it, because I'm sure you do want to see inside it. It'd be interesting to see what I've done to it. Because again, this is one of my early restorations. When we first moved here, I got my little workshop set up, and long before I decided I was going to go onto YouTube, I used to do my own little repairs in here of a Sunday when I wasn't working. This is one of my very early ones. Ah, well, look at me. Look at me with the modifications here. Right, so yes, it does take a PP9, but I've actually put two PP3s in parallel there, look. So, and I've put some foam in there to just hold them in place. Look at me, genius, eh? Look at that. What is a treat though? I mean, those batteries have been in here, like I say, for nearly 4 years, so that's pretty good going, isn't it, really? Let's just get you in a little bit closer so you can see. So yeah, I've just got a couple Maplin's PP7s in there. I'm sorry, PP3s in there. So yeah, originally the battery would have been a PP7. So I've just what I've done is I've sewn in these two in parallel. Clever, getting I just put two heavy duty PP3 connectors on there. These are really good actually, these big plastic ones. I've just put a little bit of this foam in there to hold them in. But I have done all the capacitors on this. I don't think this is AF117s, and you can't see it because it's on the other side of the board. But yeah. It's got like a little label on here. Like this these days, this just ain't relevant, is it? Because everybody wants it up full whack. But it says it's capable of excellent sound quality and volume. However, the battery will last longer if the volume is limited to the minimum required for reasonable listening. You don't get that in radios these days, do you? Anyway. Anyway, there you are. That is a repair. It's got those little NKT transistors in this one, looking at it. Yeah, what you tend to find, if I do radios for myself that I'm going to keep, I don't tend to like do all the capacitors and that. I'll go through it and I'll just change really what's necessary to get it working. If I'm doing a radio to sell or a repair for somebody, then it's going to get the works. It's going to have everything under the sun done to it to make sure that it lasts for a long time. If the caps pack up in this like they have in that R700, I can't believe that, then obviously I can change them at my leisure, can't I? So there you are. Nice little modification for you anyway, if anyone wants to do that.
It is very friendly of him.
It is very natural, signore.
good girl. You know. Oh, the lowest of all.
Have you seen her?
So there you are, a little Ekco Vanity. So I'm going to put this one up and I'm going to let you guess for a bit what this is now. Now, I don't know. I thought I'd already shown you this radio, but I don't know that I have or not. Anybody know what that is? I'll leave you guessing for a second. So, anybody got any ideas? Well, we obviously know it's a Perdio because it's written on the front. But anybody got one of these? A bit dusty. I don't know if I've shown this one before or not. I know I've sent some pictures of it to one of my customers who sadly is now no longer with us. I don't think it is a town and country, Andrew, actually, but yeah, you're not far off. I picked this up off on eBay, I think, last year or the year before. It needs a little bit of work doing on the case. It's one of these, like, it's not leather, it's PVC. But usually if you've got something with a case and it's still in a case, the radio underneath is usually in pretty good condition. So it's a Perdio 7 transistor. I have shown a Perdio last time, Theo, but it was the brown one under the desk, wasn't it? That was this one here. That was the Perdio that I showed you last time, that one. So I think that was the last video, wasn't it, that one? Lovely little radio. But this one, I'm not sure if you've seen. I don't think you've seen this one before, to be honest. I really don't think I've had this one out before. Sean's photo again, because he said he wanted to see some radios that weren't Roberts or Hacker. So here we are. So let's pop it out of the case. If it will come out of the case, it's a bit of a tight fit. It doesn't want to come out of the case. It likes to be in the case. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you come. There you come. Slowly, slowly catching monkey and all that. Yeah, I don't think that's probably ever been out of the case. Still no better off as to what it is. Still a Perdio 7 transistor. Made in England. This is somebody's been at the back and cleaned it up with a bit of scouring pad or something. So it's got long wave, medium wave, volume. Very bouncy volume. This is volume on off. Let's whip the back off and see if we can gain any more info from this. Because I don't know what model it is. I was hoping you would be able to tell me. It's quite a nifty handle. The handle's sort of like badly arcs up. It's a very plasticky, to be fair. So it's going to be a 70s radio. But saying that, these can be deceptive. This handle does not want to come with it. Right, okay. Oh, ho, ho, ho. We've got AF117s. We've got a label here. There we go. Purdue Electronics Limited, Purdue House, Bonhill Street, EC2. EC2 is, where's EC2? Is that Edinburgh? Still no idea of the model number, which is typical of this era of radios. This is probably 60s radio, I think. Airspace tuning cap, dreaded AF117s. We've got 1, 2, 3 AF117s in here. So we might be into lifting some legs. We've got a screw missing. Someone's been at this one by the looks of it. It's not me. In fact, there's no screws in it. Oh yeah. Okay, this one's ripe for taking out the chassis by the looks of it. Someone's definitely been at this. Let me see if I can get you in a little bit closer. Anybody got any ideas yet as to the model of this one? We know it's got AF17s in it, so that's going to date it back to the sort of 60s, really. Foxy loves the orange. If you look inside here, though, this is red and this is orange, so it's obviously got a little bit of what do you call it? Yeah, this is definitely someone's been at this one, and it certainly ain't me, because the handle's getting stuck by the ferrite aerial. The ferrite needs to move over to let the handle come up. Yeah, someone's had this one apart before. So, one of the aerial connections is off. Yeah, interesting little radio there. That's a London postcode, isn't it? Yeah, I am over 50, just about. I'm 55 this year. So we've got three little stamps. We've got INS 44, INS 56, and T61. We've got another INS 75 there by the looks of it. Let's try to see. We've got our output stage is, looks like our drivers are OC71, OC81D, and I don't know what the finals are, but we've definitely got AF117s in the oscillator and IF stages. So it's likely it won't work. I would say definitely the 60s though. Look at this strange, it's like a big lump of cardboard there, look. It's got to be factory, taped over the top. Hopefully you can all see this. I'm not in too far. Interesting old radio though. Very tarnished waveband selector. Let's give that. I'm going to give it a couple little twiddles before we fire it up. Let's get the old fiberglass pencil on those contacts because that's pretty rough. I'm just going to go over those and give them a little bit of a clean up because Deoxit's going to struggle getting all that lot off, to be fair. That's years and years worth of oxidization, that is. Oh, that's kind of nice straight away, look at that. Okay, right. Let's give that a little bit of Deoxit, I think. It's a little bit rough. I must get myself another can of this. I'm really on the last dregs of this. I do like it. Oh, I've lost my straw off the end now. My little tube. I still don't know what model this is at all. There's nothing in the case. It's obviously a bespoke case for this model. It's pretty good condition actually, the case. There's no model number on it. It's got this old license number inside, the license plate, as they used to have, so that'll date it back into the like. In fact, I think they were back in the 50s, those plates. So give us a little dribble. Oh Christ. It's come out like a fountain again on it, as is usual. But yeah, someone's taken all the screws out of this, look, so it's basically ready to come out of the chassis. So shall I take it out of the chassis? I'm going to take it out of the chassis because, to be fair, I'm going to have to pull the AF117 shield leads off of them anyway. There is absolutely no screws in it whatsoever. So someone's obviously tried to repair this radio at some stage and not succeeded, which is not surprising. Anybody managed to find a model number yet for this one then? Okay, looks like there's a little spring hose there, but I don't think. I would have thought I've got to take that handle out to get it out of the chassis. Oh, there we go. There we are. And we're out. So I suspect this is probably a PP7 again. I don't know if a PP9 would fit in there, would it? Where's a PP9? I think it's probably a bit big for a PP9. Yeah, so this has got to be a PP7 radio, isn't it? PP7 here, that's one of mine. Yeah. So this radio would use a PP7. Ah, okay. I don't know if that's a model number, but it's got. Let me just see where I am with the. Oh, you can see that. If you see the middle of the camera there, look, it's got Perdio PC44 issue 4. So whether that's the printed circuit board number, I don't know. Hang on. Have we got someone suggesting what it smells like? "55 is well old." PR44, you reckon, Bill, do you? It says PC44. "1962, Doug, did they?" Hi, Doug, how are you, mate? But I don't think I said hello yet. Lock fit caps? Lock fit transistors, Sean. What's it smell like? Smells like old radios, Benji. You think it's a... So... is it a PR44 then? Let me Google that. Let's have a quick look. Let me have a Google. Perdio PR44. Yeah, that is the one in it. That's Hit Radio Museum. Yeah, it looks like it was available in blue as well. So I have to log in because Lemon Radio Museum doesn't seem to recognize my details on the iPad. So let's go with Perdio PR44. Is that PR44? Yeah, there we go. Let's get the schematic up on it. Yeah. It's a Perdio Strand. Perdio Strand PR44. It's pretty much standard radio design of the era. Nothing amazing there. 1966 is the trader sheet. 1966. So 3 AF117s, OC71, 81D, and 2 OC81s as the outputs. So it is a PR44 Strand. There's also a PR76 Berkeley as well. I don't know what the difference is between the two. The circuit looks identical. So we're going to say it's a PR44 Strand, people, I think. Why on earth Perdio and the likes didn't put their model numbers on their radios, I do not know, but it gives us something to look at, doesn't it? Right, so let's go with our 9 volts. I'm going to connect it up to my bench supply. Get my twiddler sticks out of the way. Just I don't know, those of you that have got Radio Museum accounts, which I would suggest you all get, to be fair, not that I've got any affiliation with the Radio Museum, but what a database. I mean, it's the first place I look when I'm looking for a radio type, to be fair. See if I've lost my where's my live chat gone? Come on, live chat. So here we go. There I am. Perdio Strand. Hello, Error 52. Yeah. I think it's red. Start thumping. Right, so I'm going to connect it up. It would be so I'm going to pop the current limit on its maximum setting. Let's see if I can find my thingy-jiggers. Let's connect up to 9 volts. We have hissing noises. But absolutely no stations whatsoever. Not a dicky bird. So what do we do to start with? If in doubt, give it a clout, don't we? That's the idea. Hello? Oh. Turn that light off. Ah. Well, she works with a bit of whacking. Let's try a long wave.
That there's something different about Peter, and he knows that it's his duty as Peter's father to get him out of Trinidad if he can.
In your story, we've talked about Peter, the golden, the gifted child, but there are whole sections of the story that are actually from Paul's point of view, who is, I suppose in many ways, Peter's opposite, although he's his twin. And it feels as though if only Clyde had been able to see his son more clearly, things might have been different.
Nope.
Fatalistic sense of the person that we're cast as, we end up becoming. Let's hear Paul's perspective on his academic struggles.
I was just looking and wondering why we had external aerial connections. Unusual, because normally you would only get that on a shortwave radio. But this one's got it for some reason. I was just looking to see if there's shortwave on the top, but it's not. It's only long wave and medium wave. We have got this external aerial connection, which is unusual. It's not even got a car setting, so it's not a car aerial. So yeah, this radio would need some work. Apologies if I'm out of shot. Let me just have a look. No, we're okay. We're okay. So nice little radio. Perdeo transistor radios didn't seem to last long, did they? I think they were bought out by somebody. Yeah, it lives, Gary. Would I zap or replace with GT322Bs? If I was selling it on, Mike, I would replace it with GT322Bs. It might be Bill, I don't know. But yeah, I think if I was going to keep it, Mike, or I wanted it to be authentic looking, then I might zap them. But to be fair, wow, you can see it if you take the back off, I suppose. So I know someone suggested previously that maybe we ought to look at stuffing them. There's definitely the shorts on them because I tapped them and it's come to life. So, you know, we've got capacitors that are dodgy as well because the volume's not very loud. Certainly we haven't got enough volume there, so that's going to be the capacitors in and around the amplifier circuit here. Probably these four here I think will need changing. At the end of the day, you haven't got a lot more. You've got a couple little ones in here. So yeah, interesting little radio. Interesting little radio. So something a little bit different that you might not have seen before. Took us a little while to identify it, but thanks to those that persevered and sussed out what it was. But we've got some authentic spiders and dust and that inside there as well. Let's brush that out while we're in here, look. Lots of dead arachnids. Nice. So somebody's obviously took that apart thinking, well, I'm going to try and fix this, but it's never been able to. Which, considering it was AF117s, is not that surprising. So we're missing 3 screws, which are easy enough. They're easy enough to get. It's going to be imperial screws, I would think. But there you go. Pye P44. Lovely little radio that's actually younger than me. I'm older than this radio. Get a thing to go back in its case. It doesn't want to go back in. There you are. To be fair, that's in pretty good nick. There's a little bit of, I don't know what that's, whether it's paint or varnish run down there, but overall it's in pretty good condition, that. I suspect, like I say, that it's been left in its case most of its life. So let's catch up with the chat, see where we are with this. Cheers to you, Sean. Catch you later on, mate. Have a good night out. Did they really, Doug? Well, this radio dates as 1966. Sticking a 1.5 kilovolt up an AF117. I would put your safety goggles on for that, Andrew. Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that, Mike. Funny you should say that. Now, Sean's going to be pretty gutted that he's had to go here, actually, because this is all his fault that I've got these other radios to show you. So, there we go. Little Perdio. Again, I didn't really... It's one of those things... Sometimes you see a radio on eBay and you think, I've never seen one of those before. And if it goes at a good price, have a crafty bid and see if you can get it. And that's what I've done on this one. I don't think it cost me that much. But perfectly restorable and it'll be a good little radio. This will stick back down. All the plastic's there, so it's not like I've got lots of bits missing off of it. That'll come up really nice, that one. Anyway, so who mentioned Murphy? I think it was Mike, wasn't it? Do I ever do any Murphy radios? I've got some Murphy Volve radios, I think, Mike, but strangely enough, I did drag this in earlier. Your wish is my command. So this is going to be a later Murphy. It's one that I picked up from, I think it was a chap down in Plymouth. I'm trying to think of his name. It'll come to me in a minute. But I went down to see a chap, one of my subscribers down in Plymouth, and he had quite a few radios. I actually bought a trio receiver off of him, which I've not revealed yet. I bought a spare Super Sovereign chassis, this one, a couple Roberts. Basically, he had quite a few radios he just wanted to get a shot off, so I went and got them. You like that, Andrew, do you? I think, again, that grid is really nice. It's got a little bit, it needs a little bit of fettling to get that flat, but it's really nicely made. It's a Murphy. So, your wish is my command. Look, come on, Mike. Surely they can't all have AF117s in them, can they? Your nanny had one, did she, Andy? So you got a little emblem on the back, product of the rank organisation. And it says 8-8-840. The big old open closed. Oh my god. What is this? What? That's a proper bit of engineered plastic, that is, isn't it? Let's have a look at the underneath it. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. Someone's been in here. So, can we find out a model from it? 9-volt battery, PP9. Okay. I assume this is the strap that's actually in one piece for the PP9. That's unusual. That rubber survived. And, ooh, I can see AF117s with their legs lifted. But unfortunately, this has been got at. This has been got at, people. Someone's been in her. Someone's been inside. I don't know. It's 9 volt, and that's the battery terminals there, positive and negative. I assume this is a speaker terminal, but what is this wire here? What is this? And what is this setup in here? Whew. I am none the wiser, people. I've got a serial number in here. I've got no model number at the moment. Is there any model number on top? Yeah, someone's definitely been at this one. Big style. Just try and have a look just to see if I can work out how to get it out of the chassis. Well, to me that looks like it's just a couple spring clips hold this in the chassis, so I'm going to pop it out, that one. Oh my god. As easy as that, really? That is it? Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Now, what? Oh, that's a monster speaker in there as well. Look at the size of that speaker. That is huge. Look at the size of that speaker. That's massive. That is a huge speaker, and I assume that's a Goodman's. I can't see what ohms it is. I was hoping to just hijack another speaker for that, really, but it looks like I'm going to probably have to chop it in. We've got some nasty capacitors in this as well. Lovely Ekco modes. Someone has been in here. They pulled the AF117 legs off, which saves me a job. But what on earth is this? Oh, so that's I would assume that that output is for an external audio, because we've got a blue shielded wire there. That must be for an external pickup. So I'd assume that this is our speaker wires, the black and the yellow. That's our power supply, and that's that external jack, which I think is just an aerial connection. That's what I'm going with. Just trying to see, look at that dial cord. That's proper dial cord. I wish I could find some of that these days. Look at that dial cord in there. Can anybody see that? Red and white striped dial cord, eh? Anybody got a reel of that knocking about? That's proper, isn't it? So these are the capacitors. These are notoriously bad. These are Ekco mode. You can see it written on the side. Look, Ekco mode. These red ones with the black centers are notoriously bad. They also made them in black as well. Yeah. You can pop your output transistors if they're not good. So that's our output transistors down here. Probably, well, actually, no. I don't know what they are. Anybody got a model number or make on this one yet? Anybody know any info on it? I can't see anything marked on it. I've got a serial number, and that's about it. I know it's Murphy, and it's got a serial number. Hi, Rob. So let me pop this chat is getting a bit busy. Let me just pop the chat out if it'll let me. Let me try and pop this chat out. I think I was looking at the wrong thing. I need to go into my, whatever you call it, live control room. That's what I need. The live control room. I'm going into the live control room. So, chat. Hi Keith, how are you, mate? It's not FM, Andrew. No, it's not FM. There we go. Let's pop a chat out. Let's just read the chat a bit better. It's long wave, medium wave only. Let me just show you the dial face on it. Get the light up a bit. I don't know how much you can see there actually because of the light, but so we've got tuning, tone, volume. We've got off, medium wave, long wave, car, and BS. 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 What's BS? I don't think that means band spread, but it does. So I think the BS button just stretches the doesn't look like the tuning's working either. No, because the it's not connected to the tuning thing there. So that is changing the capacitor. It's not moving the marker across the scale. So the marker's broken by the looks of it. Yeah, so I'm just moving the marker by hand now. So the dial cord's not connected to the marker, which is another pain in the neck, but so yeah, it looks like it's just medium wave, long wave. But nice, it's quite weighty, it's well made, you can tell it's well made. So we've got an airspace tuning cap, we've got a nice long ferrite, decent transformers on it, rubbish capacitors, AF117s, but they have had all their legs lifted, so possibly this could work. This could work. But it looks like somebody's started on it and then given up by the looks of it. So I'm going to connect it up. What the hell? So it's a B840, is it? So we got, is it a B815 or is it a B840? Let's see what Radio Museum got to say. Let's see what Radio Museum got to say about it. So let's go with what Bill's saying. So Murphy B840. Okay. So a quick look. Tune in tone, volume, BS. Yeah, B840 does look like it's the one. So semiconductors, AF117s, 3, 1, 2, 3. AC 127s and 128s. One two seven, 128. Okay, that's slightly different. I think it's got AC 127, 128, and I assume the outputs are 128s. But and what did Andrew say? I'm just trying to get back to where I was now. Andrew thinks it's the B815. Theo's saying B840. Let's look at the B815. B815. Okay, yeah, it's not the 815. I don't think. No, because the 815's got transistor 8 and Murphy written in here. No, it's definitely the 840. God, tell you what, this iPad's playing up today. Get off. Get off here. Error. Edit and try again. What? Oh, it won't let me post that. Oh well. Yeah, the 815, Andrew, has got a slightly different face on it. Looking at Radio Museum, I can't post it for some reason. It won't let me. But looking at Radio Museum, Murphy's written in the middle, and it says something like 7 or 8 transistors here. There's all these little pieces there, or a little. Yeah, that just holds the front face on. Yes, not a bad looking radio, is it really? Murphy did make some good stuff. There's a lot of people that actually collect just Murphy. This is, I don't know what the age of that one was. What's the age of that? What are they saying a date on that? 1967, so very similar era to the last one. But somebody's definitely done a Graham on this. They've been in and they've pulled all the shield wires off of the AF117s. But I suspect we might have one of these Elka modes shorted as well. So let's connect the thing up and see how we get on. So here we go. Here we go. Fire in the hole. I don't know which one of these is I don't know which one of these speaker terminals is the actual speaker. who knows? So connect the speaker up as well. Turn it off. That's far enough, I think. Yeah, it's not bad actually. It's easily workable, isn't it, Chris? It's not all crammed in like a lot of them are. I mean, this side's a little bit busier over here with a switch bank, but that's the RF stage. This is the IF stage for here and the output stage there. So they've done the board upside down, really, I suppose, but I can see why. No, it's nicely laid out. Could be a Murphy man, Chris. Could be a Murphy man. Right, let's put some fire up at them. Let's go with medium wave. Oh dear. It's drawing 770 milliamps. So I would say that we have got a shorted cap there. It looks like someone has gone and taken the could have a shorted output transistor, mind you. We could have a shorted output transistor. Oh, we've got some nice. Oh, someone's been at it. Yeah, someone's been at this one. Someone's had the output transistors out of this. What they should have done is not messed with that at all, and they should have taken the drivers out as well. Someone's had the transistors out of this, but they haven't had the capacitors out. I would have took the capacitors out first rather than the transistors. So I wonder if someone has buggered up the, that's a technical term, buggered up the output transistors. You know, I was only going to show these radios. I wasn't going to work on them. I wasn't expecting to strip them out of the chassis and all that sort of business. It's going to have another old speckled hen. I might have to quickly nip to the loo. But this radio is drawing too much current, way too much. I would expect about 20 milliamps. It's drawing 70. So do we reckon transistor or do we reckon capacitor? I'm opting for the alka modes personally. Right, that's better. So what's favourite? What do we think? I need a bigger power supply. Ha! Turn the current limit off and let her blow. It works for tantalum, Chris, but the thing is tantalums are a little bit cheaper than bloody not AF. What are we saying the outputs are on this one? AC128s. Now I've got some AC128s, but I don't want to blow them up really. Preferably not blow them up. I think it's CAFs. Scream like a blister the finger tab. I think it's caps, to be honest, because those red alka modes are notoriously bad. 50-50 then, Andrew, not recommended. Well, they're all those alka modes are in the output section, and to be honest, this radio's been got at quite badly. Someone's had the output transistors out, and there's a pretty bad job on the soldering in there. I think I'm gonna have to clean that up if I can even see what's been going on in there. Now, how hard can it be to get one of these radios working, eh? How hard can it be? Yeah, there's traces lifted in here. It's nasty. It's like the apocalypse in here. I got traces lifted off the board. Yeah, it's not looking good, to be fair. This is not looking good. Yeah, I mean if you got high resistance, or high current draw, I should say, then it's more than likely it could be a transistor gone. It could well be a transistor gone, but I think by the looks of it, someone's had them out. But I would definitely be checking the capacitors before checking transistors. In fact, probably, I mean, I'm firing this up on a bench power supply, but I wouldn't be firing it up with a battery unless I'd probably pulled those caps to check them. Okay, so I can see the board now. There is some botching going on in there, sadly. I'm trying to think of a chap I got. Is the chap called Darren down in Plymouth I got these from. Excuse me while I'm just using the old magnifier to look. Okay, so whoever's taken the transistors out has lifted all the traces, but it looks like they have linked them back in, apart from one there that's a bit dodgy. This one here. But that's not going to cause it to draw too much current, to be fair. Poor wiring. It's connected. But what they haven't done is taken any of the caps out. So I suspect it is the capacitors, these red things, these alka modes. They're notoriously bad. Let's have a look, see if the ESR meter will measure them a minute. So this is the Peak ESR 70, highly recommended if you haven't got one. Not cheap, but then you get what you pay for, don't you? So that one's reading 906, and that's a 300 microfarad. Let's try this one over here. That one's reading 609. I can't see if it's a 300 or 500. Where's my magnifying glass gone? Another 300. So that's reading 609, so that's double what it should be. What else we've got here? We've got a 250, a 100. So we've got two that are way over the top at the moment. I mean, this ain't bad. If it doesn't like it, it'll tell you it's in circuit or no, it's wrong. Let's try that one. So that one's saying it's in circuit or leaky. So that could be leaky, or it could just be the fact that it's actually in circuit. Let's try this one. Oh, hello. That one's got a very high ESR of nearly 8 ohms. It's reading 70 microfarads, so I bet you that's the one that's causing the problem. Let's just try the last one, which is there. Get on that one. Come on, you swine. Ah! Doesn't like it. Doesn't like it up at all. Let's go with that. Okay, that's reading higher ESR, but the one that's worse is this one here. Yeah, that one there is not good at all. It's reading 71 microfarads, but 8.2 ohms ESR. It's a 100 microfarad cap. Shall we get that one out and replace it and see what happens? Or should we move on to another set? What do you reckon? Let's have it out. Let's fire up the desoldering gun. So talk amongst yourselves while I get... Why has this got 2 straps as well for 1 battery? That's a good question, isn't it? Unless it runs 2 in parallel. Anybody know why that is? So assume that strap goes in there. I think this runs 2 PP9s, you know. Okay, we've got 1 strap in there. And 1 strap in there. Does it run 2 in parallel? Yeah, it must be. It has had 3 batteries, Andy. 3? Yeah, I think it's just paralleling them up, isn't it? I don't think it's running them. It's not an 18-volt radio, surely. 2 PP9s in series or parallel, Andrew? This ain't a part set, Bill. This is a fixer-upper, mate. This is a fixer-upper. We can get this one going, I reckon. Let's just get the desoldering gun in action. Let's get this first one out. Apologies if you can't see what I'm doing. These are horrible, these capacitors. Well, look at the trace on that. That just lifted straight off the board, so you can see why they've had problems with it. Sadly, these were not good boards back in this era. So what is that one? That is 100 microfarad. Let's just stick a radio back in it for now. 100 microfarads. Needs to be great voltage. What are they? 25 volts. 35 volts. Just turn my desoldering tool off a minute. It's a noisy blimmin' thing. So, that's our positive, that's our negative. I'm going to put that leg in line with that trace. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let me just have a look at the camera here. Well, you can't really see, can you? Let's turn it around a little bit. Here we go. Get the solder out. This would have been leaded solder back in the day. Right, that's that one done. Let's have a look at it. Let's stick it on the ESR meter out of circuit and see what it says. You can just about see that. You can see that. I'm sure you can't actually see the display. I can get you in a bit on the display for the grand reveal. Is it good or is it bad? There we go. Well worth picking up these meters. I swear by these. I've used these now for a couple of years. In fact, I think I bought them before I started my YouTube channel. So this on the can says it's 100 volts, 25 volts working. So let's see what it says on the ESR meter. Okay, so it's dropped in capacitance. It's set at 73, but the ESR is 6.8, which is really high. 6.8 ohms. It should be around about. It should be less than 1 ohm, really, ideally. Let's try brand new 100 microfarad, like I've just put in. This is Nichicon PW series, which I swear by. 105 degree rated, should last a long time. There you go. So it's reading 97 pretty much, 0.1 ohms, so a massive difference. So obviously the other caps are going to be an issue, but shall we fire it up and see if that's made a difference before we go ahead and mess with the other ones? I think we ought to. I think we ought to fire it up again and have another look. What's the general thought on that? Ha. It's 18 volts, Andrew, is it? Christ, I'm glad I only put 9 volts up it. I wouldn't want to put 18 up it with it in that sort of state. It's drawing, I say it's drawing 77 milliamps with it just on 9 volts. So God knows what to do with 18. Are we going off subject? Are we talking about how much lead you got in your pencil now? Are we off subject? Probably. Anyway, I don't know how many I've lost so far, but I think our staple viewers are still with us. Right. I'm going to go with the 9 volts still, just to see what current I'm drawing now. Okay, so I'm still drawing 780 milliamps. Still drawing way too much. There's absolutely not a dicky bird coming from the speaker. Not even a hiss or a pop or anything. Me thinks somebody's absolutely killed this radio, but you never know. We might get lucky. Oh God, look at this. What is going on here? What is going on here? We've got legs that are all over the place here. I think someone's put new transistors in and not chopped the legs off. Ah, dear. So let me refresh my memory as to what these alka modes are doing. See if we've got any other nasties in there.